What is up, the YouTube world? Alright, this is going to be a video on a product. So I guess a product review video. I have no idea. Alrighty. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys all this little product, guys. It's right here in the corner. But I want to talk about that. And I think I like it a lot. So, here's my couch. Dun dun dun. And here's the fish tank. Alright, so I sit down like this. Oh! And this is basically my view. The 40-gallon used to be right against the wall, so I used to have to like really turn my head to like really look at it, you know. So now I like made it a little bit easier for my neck. I don't have to break my neck to look at the aquarium. But anyways, so I'm sitting here and I was looking on top of the water cooler. Excuse the algae. There's a shiza load of algae going on because I decided to put fertilizer in there, and I think I put way too much. The algae's turning red, so yeah, I put too much fertilizer in there. But yeah, so you look right here, the water looks really nice and clean. You ever been to like a pet store, like Petco or PetSmart, and one of their tanks ain't running, and they got fish in it, and the water looks really stale, and there's like all this grum, you know, nasty stuff, you know, it just doesn't look good. Like stale water does not look good, especially when you got fish in there, and then it starts collecting stuff on that top of the water surface, and you can just see it. So I was sitting here, and I got an Aqua Clear 70 on it. I got a wave maker that only runs every 2 hours for 30-minute time frames, and then does an 8-hour break at night. And then I got 2 air stones. So this side really doesn't have that much circulation going on and that much water tension. It doesn't have that much water breaking up. Alright. But I didn't really, you know, I see a lot of people who doesn't have any bubblers, that just have one filter and maybe a canister filter that goes down, and you know, the water, well, I can't tell because I'm not actually there looking down and looking up, but you know, I don't know, you know, it always seems like it's okay, right? Well, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, the water looks kind of nasty, alright? I don't like that. So my idea is to eventually put this into a big system with this, get an overflow box with it, and then runs down and then, you know, back up and everything. And when you have something like this, the overflow box acts like a skimmer. So basically all the film on top of the water will go into the grate, and then, you know, it goes down, and you know, sometimes when it goes through a pad that filters a fine mess pad, it filters all of the fine particles out, and then it goes into the aquarium, right? Well, when you do not have an overflow box, you know, you don't have technically a skimmer. You don't have anything. You know, stuff can collect up there unless you have some serious waterfalls. Usually your overhang filters will break the water tension, and you know, maybe air bubblers will break the water tension depending on how strong they are. But there's not that much that's really going to really skim the water surface, right? So I'm not prepared yet to buy everything I need to really get everything going, but hopefully in a month or so I will be. I'm still experimenting with the light system, but I went ahead and went to Petco and I found this. I was like, this is looking very interesting. So it's actually a skimmer for freshwater tanks. I'm pretty sure you can use it on a saltwater tank, but I don't know why you would, because the saltwater tank usually has protein skimmers and swamps, and you know, if you have a good system, it usually already has something built into it. But alright, anyways. No, you can use it for saltwater. Okay, it is for saltwater. But yeah, so I saw this, and this is a skimmer. I'm like, this is pretty dang neat. So basically, the way it works is, this right here, water falls into it. So it's, you know, it's on top of the water surface and it falls into it, right? And then it just pushes it out back there, right back into the aquarium. There's a little sponge inside of it. So there is a little sponge inside of it that collects, you know, collects the debris and pushes it out. So I would imagine once in a while to clean that sponge out. Alright, let's talk about it real quick. So it's right here, and I like it a lot. I have to say, I like it a lot. So you keep it about maybe about 1.5 inches or 2 inches from the water surface, because you have to think about water evaporation, right? So this has this little plastic piece, right? This little plastic piece is pretty neat because it goes up and down, right? So definitely don't push it all the way down, because it will eventually come out and just float around, right? So it has 4 grooves on it, and if you push it way too far down, it does eventually come out and then just float around. So you don't want that. You can only push it, you can only have it so far down, but you definitely want to get it the maximum down to the maximum water level. You know what I'm saying? So if this is where your water level is, see, mine is actually starting to go down a little bit. I have it right at the trim. And if that's where the water level is, then you want to get this as far down as possible before that thing actually pops out and starts floating around, because it's there for evaporation. So as the water drops, it goes down with it, and you don't have to constantly move this thing around. So it works really well. It has to evaporate probably 5 gallons of water before that actually gets too low. So if it gets too low, the pump still keeps running. It would have been pretty neat to build a safety feature in it. If it gets too low, that it turns the pump off, but it just keeps on running. Yeah. But besides that, I mean, you know, you're supposed to check your aquarium and work with it, so I don't think that's an issue, but it would have just been cool. It has a control where you can actually control how powerful it is, and it looks really small, but it is meant for aquariums up to 350 liters, which is, I think, 100 gallons, or I might be completely wrong. But I think 350 liters is definitely 80 to 100 gallons. So this is a 55-gallon aquarium, so it works. You know, it's designed for 350 liters, but it's so small. You know, it only uses 5 watts. It's very, very small, but I like it a lot. You can tell that the water, I used to have bloodworms collect on the side and like kind of, I don't know, like just the body, I don't know, they're just bloodworms collected on the side. They wouldn't eat all their bloodworms, but that thing does an awesome job. So when that turns on, it rotates a lot of the water around. But it's been on there for 1 day now, and I am extremely impressed with it. I mean, the water just looks great, very clear. I'm sorry there's so much algae. There we go, that's a good picture. But yeah, that water looks super duper great. Before, I could tell that was a little bit, you know, something wasn't right. But now it's looking spectacular. So, the little skim350 here, I have to give it a thumbs up, a 5 out of 5. It definitely does what it's definitely supposed to do. As long as you maintain your aquarium once a week like everybody's supposed to, take a good look at it. You know, I don't think there's any issues with this thing, and it works really well. As you can see, water just goes into it. Very simple design. Can you replicate it yourself, do it yourself product? Probably. You just have to figure out something that floats really well, that will allow water to come into it. You know, that's the hardest part of making this, is the floating device. But besides that, I think it's awesome. Sometimes it does suck in there, but you can adjust it so it's not too strong. But that's fine, you know. I have to say the skim350 EHEIM. I cannot pronounce words. I'm afraid sometimes. But yeah, it's spectacular. I give it a thumbs up, definitely. Down 5 out of 5. You know, if it would have a switch in it where the water level actually gets too low, like say you're gone for a week, you went to jail, and you know, shit happens, you're sitting in jail and nobody's taking care of your aquariums, and the water level drops, and if it actually had an automatic shut off where it says, oh, the water level is too low, let's turn this pump off before we actually break the pump, you know, I would give it 10. You know, we only got 5 out of 5 stars, but I would give it a +5, because I'd be like, oh, that's off the chain. But I'm pretty sure you could always make a system, a float device. You know, those are actually pretty easy to make, a little float device. There's a lot of videos on do-it-yourself videos out there. Little float device, when it gets to a certain point, the float goes down, it hits the metal thing, it goes toot, and it actually, you know, you have it hooked up to a power strip, there's a relay and all this good stuff, and when that float switch gets too low, it will actually disconnect the power and will turn off, you know, all the pumps or whatever you have connected to that power strip to that float switch. So that would be a good idea. Maybe the wave maker, if the water ever drops low, or like if you're doing a water change and you're doing a 50% water change, if you forget to turn things off, that would be a great idea, you know. But yeah, I need to clean my glass. Now she's growing. But this was my idea. My idea was to let this grow a little bit for a week, to really collect all the shit out the water and then cut it all away. Because yeah, I would see, you can tell this actually collected a lot of red, but as you can tell, you know, I put a lot of fertilizer in there. Alright, I'm dragging on the video again. It's a product review. I give this right here a 5 out of 5. I really like it. If it did actually have a mechanism inside of it, which I know, you know, that's not how anything really works. You know, you have to make that yourself. So it gets a 5 out of 5. And yeah, it's an excellent little floaty thing, so you don't have to worry about the water evaporation, and it works great. It really does. It's been running for about a day. You know, this is probably, you know, it's morning time right now. This is day 2 or so, and the water quality just looks immaculate on top of the surface. It works great, and it is meant for 350 liters. So if the math is right, it's about 100 gallons, 80 to 100 gallons. So very cool, guys. I wish everybody an awesome day, and y'all be good. Laters.